Okay, today is day 10 of Bible in 90 days, or What's in the Bible, where we're reading through from Genesis all the way to Revelation, chapter by chapter, just kind of doing a summary of what the Bible says in every chapter, in every book, until we get to Revelation, just to get a good idea of what the entire story of the Bible is. No, zoning into verses or perspectives or whatever else, but just a summary of what the entire Bible says. So we've done the whole book of Genesis, the whole book of Exodus, the whole book of Leviticus, which we finished yesterday. And today we now get into Numbers, where we get a bit more of the story, because we had said in Leviticus, it was more about just the laws that Moses was given on Mount Sinai to tell the Israelites to do as they were now in the desert. They were in the desert, obviously, because they had left Egypt, where they were oppressed as slaves. But they got to Egypt because the whole world had a famine, which Joseph, the son of Jacob, had helped them from. Joseph obviously comes from Jacob, Jacob from Isaac, Abraham from Shem, Shem from Noah, Noah obviously from Seth, Seth from Adam, and Adam was created by God. So Numbers, as it says, we start off with some few numbers, which was really to do with the counting of the tribe of Israel, and a few other laws and stories along the way. So we'll dive straight in. Numbers chapter 1, because today we're doing Numbers chapter 1 to 8. There was a census of Israel by tribe. 12 tribes were counted, excluding the Levites. They were not counted with everybody else. The tribes that were counted were Reuben, Simeon, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Benjamin, Dan, Asher, Gad, and Naphtali. Only the people that were 20 years and over were counted, and women and children were not counted. And the total was just over 600,000 of them. But now remember, when they left Canaan with Jacob, there was only 70 of them. So obviously the promise that Abraham was given, that he'd have so many descendants, is obviously already coming to fruition. The Levites were not counted with the rest, because their sole role was to help with the tabernacle and the priestly duties. Numbers 2, we get to hear about the arrangement of the camp and how they moved. Numbers 3, we then get the counting or the registering of the Levites and assigning their duties. There's about 22,000 of them. So nobody else could do the rituals in the sanctuary except for the sons of Aaron. Then all the firstborns of Israel were also counted, because if you remember, after the Passover, God has said, all the firstborn, they belong to me, they're devoted to me. However, they were counted here, and the firstborns of Israel were then actually replaced with the Levites. So the Levites were dedicated and kind of offered to God for their entire lives. Numbers chapter 4, we get to hear about the Kohathites, who would carry the most holy things, but they could not look at them. So the people that were supposed to actually cover them up were Aaron and his sons. They would cover them up first, then the Kohathites would carry them, because obviously they were moving from place to place as they were going through the desert all the way to Canaan. So they would sit down in one place, take all the stuff out, then set up and and move. We also have the Gershonites, who would carry the curtains, and the tent of the tabernacle. We also have the Meratites, who would carry the frames, the bars, the pillars, and the bases. We also get to Numbers chapter 5, where there were certain people that were supposed to be put out of the camp. We get some rules of restitution, ritual for detecting, adultery. We get to Numbers chapter 6, where we get some details about something called the Nazirite vow, where this included the person who took the vow, would not have any alcohol or anything from the vine. He or she would not be allowed to cut their hair, and they would not be allowed to have contact with the dead. We also have a blessing that would be pronounced by the priests upon the Israelites. Numbers chapter 7, we get to see the leaders of Israel bringing their offering for use in the tabernacle or the tent of meeting. We also have a dedication offering, for the altar. We also hear in there that God would let Moses, hear his voice. Numbers chapter 8, we get a ceremony, this massive ceremony, what it was to cleanse and initiate all the Levites into their ministry, into their priestly duties. We also get to hear there that they would start their service at 25 years and they would retire at 50 years. So It's a lot of detail actually, but I've summarized it here, just to say, as they were now in the desert, we're just getting a few more rules, and how they were supposed to, how they were supposed to live and conduct themselves in the desert on their way to, on the way to the promised land. So hopefully you're enjoying these videos. Please, like I say, share them with your friends, like the page, subscribe, to the YouTube channel, and hopefully I'll see you again tomorrow as we continue in the book of Numbers. Thanks you.